Alright, before I continue on, I do want to apologize to all of my subscribers and to everyone viewing this top 10 list. I apologize for taking so long to continue on with this list. It's just that I have been very busy with my job in the past few weeks, but now that it's a new year and now that SeaWorld is going to be closed until late February, I do have some more free time on my hands, so I can continue on in this list. Once again, I apologize for any inconvenience for those viewing this top 10 list who have been waiting for the next few videos. But anyways, moving on to the number 5 greatest Super Bowl of all time. Super Bowl 41, the Chicago Bears versus the Indianapolis Colts. And this was a very unique Super Bowl, to say none the less, because it was the first Super Bowl to be played entirely in the rain. It was the ultimate bad weather game in Super Bowl history. It defined really what football was all about, that it is to be played in the elements. And it was the biggest challenge for both of these teams because both of the Chicago Bears and the Indianapolis Colts were in the Super Bowl before. Well, the Indianapolis Colts when they were in Baltimore, the Baltimore Colts, and the Chicago Bears, I believe, when they were in Super Bowl 20 against the New England Patriots. But anyways, this Super Bowl also had a very unique beginning to it, because on the opening kickoff, Devin Hester became the first man in Super Bowl history to return the opening kickoff for a touchdown. And many people thought at that moment the Chicago Bears have it. I mean, if the Bears scored on the very first kickoff, we got this one in the bag. Well, it wasn't so, because the Indianapolis Colts would eventually come back and actually get ahead by the time the first half ended. But nonetheless, the weather did play a huge part in the game, because it was very difficult to make plays. I mean, it was difficult to handle snaps. It was difficult to get the ball down for field goal and extra point attempts, as was evident in the Colts' first point after touchdown attempt, which was botched partly due to the rainy weather. But nevertheless, the Colts found a way to come back. In the second half, it was pretty much all Colts that game. I mean, the Bears only scored like a field goal the entire second half, but nevertheless, the Colts found a way to come back from the early setback, with Devin Hester returning the opening kickoff for a touchdown, and the Colts ended up winning the game. I believe it was 29-17, and it was a glorious win for Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts, because before then there were a lot of critics saying, well, Peyton's good, but he's not good enough to win a Super Bowl. He finally managed to prove the critics wrong. And it was a game to remember, one of the best Super Bowls that I can recall. I mean, if you enjoy watching games played in the elements and you enjoy watching Super Bowls, then Super Bowl 41 was a game to watch. And it's for the aftermath of Super Bowl 41. It took the Indianapolis Colts a few more years before they could get back to the Super Bowl. As for the Chicago Bears, they still haven't been back to the Super Bowl ever since that time. Although they do have a first-round bye in the playoffs of this postseason, so it is possible that they could make it to the Super Bowl, depending on what happens, like who wins the wild card rounds and who they have to face. But we'll see what happens with the Bears. As for the Colts, they're in the playoffs this postseason as well, but I don't think the Colts are going to win in the postseason, but we'll see what happens. But anyways, that's number 5. Be ready for the next 4.